Hello, this is Dr. J back with some more Let's Play Advance Wars Days of Ruin as we advance to what looks like it's probably the final mission. Chapter 26, Beam of Light. Well, that's quite the imposing looking fortress. You're quite a swine, Stolos. I'm looking forward to putting an end to you. Stolos is not entirely wrong, but he's certainly not entirely right either. And he's still a complete piece of scum. So what is your definition of progress exactly, Stolos? Isn't that just your own arbitrary ideal? In the end, you're not rational either. I'm looking forward to putting an end to this creep, once and for all. Though that is quite the imposing fortress. Okay, well, this is going to be interesting. So, we're fighting the man himself. That is OP as all hell. Yeah, that is crazy. So he's basically like Sturm, and that he's straight up unbalanced. Okay, good to know. What are our terms? Destroy the owl nest or all enemy units. So how do we destroy this giant fortress? Looks like it has multiple things I can attack. Okay, well, let's take stock of what we've got. We have a lot of properties, a whole lot of properties. We should probably start capturing right away, one imagines. I still don't entirely understand how these comm towers work. It says the comm tower boosts your attack and defense powers, but is that just universally? Or within a certain radius, or what? Anyway, I should probably capture them. Let's see. So I start with 2 factories. Let's build more infantry for capturing ASAP. And, so he's got 4 mega tanks, an artillery and attack chopper. And over here he has 2 tanks and 2 heavies. However, the west side here seems kind of undefended. So maybe we can get in there. I don't know if early aggression is going to be rewarded at all. I suspect maybe not. I suspect maybe not, but we can try and see how it goes. Let's see, we've got a bomber. Let's have our bomber move in. There's something suspicious about this line, isn't there? I'm having flashbacks to the final Black Hole Rising mission, where Sturm has that giant laser that fires down the center of the map. And these are all labeled as laser cannons. Okay, right. I should have checked that immediately. Okay, I want to avoid putting units in front of these things. Noted. Let's see if I can actually keep track of that in this fight. Oh, my cat is walking all over me. It's shoving her butt in my face. What do you want, girl? Just make yourself comfy or something. Oh, now she's shoving her nose in my eye, which is actually pretty adorable. An extreme close-up of a cat nose is one of the great pleasures in life. Don't sit on my keyboard. Crazy stuff might happen. I'm trying to fight a dramatic final battle, girl. Ugh. Okay, she left. I mean, this mission's almost certainly going to take multiple tries, but we might as well give it our best, right? Oh, this is some unique music. Poison bombs. Oh, good lord, is this like the factories in Black Hole Rising? You just shot your own unit. Okay, that was not good. Ooh, it's serious, Catlia. Okay, so that poison bomb is... Whoa! Did those things just rotate? Good lord, they can rotate. Looks like that's firing in between my units over there. And this is firing at nothing. Okay. Odd. So do these fire in sequence? Is the middle one going to fire next? And wow, these poison bombs. I just took so much damage from that. That was not good. Enemy interceptor just got made, and he put all his units around it, so I can't get at the interceptor. Not that I think I have anything in range to get it anyway. Well, you may be half dead, but you can do a little. And it's not threatening the space right in front of it, so let's get in there. 5 health left. Yeah, might as well be aggressive, right? So I wonder if it basically uses the usual algorithm for choosing targets for the poison bomb, where it's just whatever clump of units that it can hit has the highest credit value. That would be my guess. In which case I could try to manipulate it to not hit things I don't want it to hit. There seemed to be two of them, but they didn't both fire. Only one fired. Alright, so as long as this interceptor is here, I daren't get closer with my bomber. Let's bring our own interceptor closer. Good lord, it's hard to see its maximum range. I think right here will be safe. Actually, right where I am is at the edge of its range as well. Well, this is going to be a rough mission, isn't it? But it's the final mission, what would you expect? What to produce next? I feel like rockets will be good, because like I could park rockets here and shoot these from the other side, for example. That seems pretty advisable. And maybe anti-airs if he's going to be building aircraft. I wonder what he's planning on doing with these mega tanks. Maybe I should build more of those. I just kind of want to build some of everything. So if I want to try to deliberately have him target something... He would probably well, what kind of range does this thing have? Oh, okay. It's limited to these columns, and this one is probably limited to these columns. Interesting. So if this one can only hit within this area, and let's assume it shoots whatever highest credit value clump exists in this area. Right now that would be this, right? Which is unfortunate, because that means it would hit my bomber. Well, what can you do? Whatever it hits, it's going to be bad. Beam of light indeed. Okay, way to shoot your own guy. Oh, is it going to alternate firing the west and east one? Interesting. Okay. So now the western one could hit this guy. How much damage did it do? It did like 8, right? I think it reduced the mega tank it hit. Yes, this one, to 2. Question is, can it reduce things below 1 hit point? Typically, the answer is no. Typically. In which case, if this guy captures again, you know what? It'll be faster to just move and start capping here. Oh, wait, what am I doing? I could just kill it. Oh, well, whatever. Whatever. Okay, so he just built a missile. Where does Interceptor go? Why is it going over here? That means I can do this. And yeah, it is like the factory missions in Reboot Camp in Black Hole Rising. Okay, so along this diagonal here is safe. Should be out of range. Okay, I can't get that far anyway. I don't think it can enter my dead zone from there. My missile's dead zone. No, it cannot. Good. Sorry I'm waffling and taking so long, but I'm thinking hard. There's a lot to consider. Alright, you know what? I'm probably going to lose this interceptor anyway. Let's at least shoot down this battle copter. I don't know why all this stuff didn't start under Stolos' control. What are you doing, Stolos? All these uncaptured properties in your own front yard. What are you doing? Trying to decide. Alright, yeah. Just move a little closer here, I think. Well, hold up. What were you threatening again? This diagonal. Which right now will conveniently pass right in between all my forces, so that's fine. What do I want next? Bombers might be very good in this scenario. He does have the one interceptor, but only the one. You know, I can build an AA here to discourage him. Or shoot down his interceptor when he comes to pay a visit to mine. Now I can't afford a bomber. Oh, and he has a bomber of his own. Right, I already knew that. And I put my own missiles forward. I think maybe I want more rockets. And, I could tempt him into firing over here, maybe, by putting a mega tank here so that maybe he wouldn't attack all this. Oh, it's hard to know exactly what the best play is when he's got this fortress with all these long-range attacks. Oh, okay, he hit that. I think I'm okay with that. Interesting. Okay, we are having a lot of back and forth dialogue here. Yeah, I kind of figured you made that floral virus, Stolos. You scum. Now we're getting into the whole materialism argument. Life is just a bunch of organic matter. Everything's just wet robots. I don't buy that. What kind of dead-end view of life is that? That's just nihilism. I'm not into that Stolos get stuffed. We're getting all philosophical and stuff here. Okay, now it's pointing directly south. Well, my interceptor is going to make short... Oh boy, Stolos is taken to the field personally. And he is so OP, it's ridiculous. Anyway, my interceptor will take care of that. Let's continue capping properties like a madman. Alright, he's got an interceptor coming over here. Yeah, he's coming over here to the west. But if I just move my missiles a little, not to mention my AA, then his interceptor will pay a heavy price if it comes over here. Of course, his tanks can come and have something to say about that, but how far can this mega tank get? Not quite to here. I might want to pull back Ed's Mega Tank for repairs. Or I could just YOLO and go in and attack. Screw it, YOLO. Guess screwed. Yeah, enjoy that 1 damage, punk. How does that feel? Now I think the Eastern Poison Bomb is going to fire next. Might not hurt to get another motorbike to expedite the capturing even more. And let's get another bomber. You I would love to repair, but where? Can you repair on a comm tower? Is that a thing? Of course, Stolos would just come kill you then, probably, so maybe that's not a great idea. Although then my interceptor could wreck his face, so let's try it. Let's experiment. Can you repair on a comm tower? Let's find out. You're not the only one who can do experiments, Stolos. Oh no! Oh wow, even with Stolos at the helm, fighter just does no damage to a Mega Tank. Just worthless. Okay, now that's pointing somewhere completely non-threatening to me. And confirmed, my anti-air did heal, right? Because it was at 5? Well, if this is the only thing you can get at right now. Okay, you have no targets right now. Ed should pull back to repair. Or, can I join him with this? I don't think I ever answered that question. That was a question I had before, and I never discovered the answer to it. That is a neutral city, isn't it? But I already fired that rocket, so I can't move him off of it. Let's discover the answer to our question. It works! And the commander is still on board. Alright. You repair. I think we're going to want more mega tanks and rockets over here. I don't want to just completely ignore the east so that it folds, though, do I? That would be bad. So I'm going to want to build some defenses over here, too, because look at all this stuff. Good lord, look at all of it. We are trying. Oof. It is a really interesting final mission for sure. Really interesting setup. It's pretty cool. I like it. And yeah, it's... I don't know. It still seems pretty up in the air right now. I don't feel like either of us has a clear advantage. I think that's still gonna miss everything. Just out of reach of my missiles. Yeah, situation here to the east is just collapsing. Let's see. Well, you guys are hurt, but cap what you can. I feel like maybe I should kind of just let it fold over here after all, contrary to what I said before, and just press my advantage up here. And kind of... I wish I could sort of wave my hands around, but you can't see me. So kind of let the battle go in this sort of sweeping clockwise circle, where Stolos is going like this, sweeping down and behind. And we sweep up and across, which would be advantageous for us, because all the stuff we need to destroy to win is up here. So I'm fairly okay with that. You know, with these fighters buzzing around, I don't think building more bombers is necessarily the play. Rather, maybe another mega tank and another rocket. You guys heal up. Okay, not the end of the world by any stretch. That's fine, not the end of the world. That makes a really cool sound. I like that sound effect. Did you produce a carrier plane somehow? How did you even do that? Alright, let's start moving some rockets up here to where they can bombard these from this side. Surely the next poison bomb is going to land here. Which sucks, but what can you do? Was already capping this. Oh well. Yeah, I'm kind of just giving up on this whole side of the map, it seems. I mean, I can keep him busy by just sending dudes over this way. Just to give him something to shoot at over there and slow him up a bit. I don't want everything in a tight clump. I'm probably going to get all these rockets severely damaged by the next poison bomb. And that is going to suck. I'm not doing a good job of trying to account for that by any means. But I just really want to press through here. Alright, he's going heavy on the aircraft. Let's try to tamp down on that. Then another mega tank, I think. Nice! Wreck your own stuff. Okay, that went about as expected. It sucked, but what can you do? We just have to put up with it. Because we can't seem to destroy the bomb launchers. The mortars, or whatever. We need to put a stop to this. His aircraft are out of control. Completely out of control. Oh, okay. We get a special cutscene for this. Really? So you're a clone of the original Stolos. Well, Stolos got what he deserved then. Too bad that you're a chip off the old block. Okay, yeah, like I said, this situation with this aircraft, it's out of control, it needs to stop. Enough of this. Oh, you're out of ammo. Join with that, then. You guys are never gonna finish. Good lord. Oh, is he going for an HQ capture or something? I think he is. How about no? How about get lost? Oh, could I have shot it with the missile? I don't think I'd have destroyed it, though. There, try to keep Ed's tank in good condition so we can get his bonuses, charge up his super, and so on. Well, if you're gonna die anyway, die doing a little damage. We need more anti-airs. It's just insane, all the aircraft he has zipping around. And for good measure, an interceptor, too. There. Then next turn I can focus on producing things that actually matter. Not just things that try to suppress his endless air attacks. Can I actually get up there? Is that passable? Yeah, it's a plane. It's just that rockets are ridiculously slow, as we know. Hey, Stolos, get stuffed. Punk. How'd you get a carrier plane anyway? Get out of here. Think you're so cool. Well, this is real interesting, because we are folding hard to the east, but this push to the west is finally succeeding. You know, it is reaching a point where it would be bad to just completely ignore everything that's happening here, wouldn't it? Ugh, dividing my attention is the worst, though. Let's get a bomber. Good lord, that's a lot of stuff. Maybe a mega tank over here. Okay, I just can't afford it. Actually, I can't afford it by quite a bit. Heavy, that's what I want. Oh, it's so painful every time. Are you in range yet? Okay, you can hit a laser. Okay, we can use the super, and I think we should. But that also means we can't attack, right? I think it's probably worth it anyway? Or is it? How much stuff do I want to move? Let's use it, I guess. Can I fire and then use it? I don't think so, though, right? I think it's either or. Alright, go, go, go. Jeez, one each. It's so pitiful. Oh boy, now you have two. You're so strong. How much did this accomplish, really? Well, let's my anti-airs move over here, which is useful. Maybe another bomber. And another rocket. I'm kind of just going all in on the let's try to destroy this stuff strategy. Excuse me. I'm kind of just ignoring this horrendous mess to the southeast. That may not be smart. I will acknowledge this may be a mistake. Let's try to lure in an enemy interceptor by parking this one here for repairs. Might get it destroyed, but then we'll destroy the attacker. That's fine, you didn't really hit much. Ugh. It's not quite destroyed. You're useless because you're so damaged. You can't get at anything. You can't get at what I really need you to get at. I might have used it prematurely. This is awful. Okay, you can finish it. Okay, we're 2/5 of the way there. This is brutal. Move in, go, go, go. No hesitation. How much ammo do you have left? 2. I guess you can try to repair. I think another mega tank might not be a bad idea. And maybe one down here as well. And given all the aircraft he's building up here, let's reposition this anti-air. Why not? Get in there. Yeah, kill it. Nice. You with 2 HP are just not going to get anything done. Be a distraction. That's your job. That is Ed's mega tank that just got blasted. And is about to be killed, I'm sure. Yep. Well, Ed did what he could while he could. A brutal counterattack. I do like how there's more scripting in these maps than in Reboot Camp. Like, I don't think Reboot Camp ever triggered dialogue in the middle of a mission, did it? Not that I remember. Does it come down to the power of friendship, as it always does in anime? Alright, we got a lot of stuff to contend with here. Okay, that really messed it up. Bombers are great against those. Nice. Okay, okay. Another anti-air here. Stolos is all about the massive air force. I guess now we see where Larissa gets it, huh? Like, crazy clone father, whatever. Like, crazy clone daughter. That was just not even close. Is that the difference between ace and not ace? Because, good lord. We're trying. Okay, that helped me. Excellent. I mean, all according to plan. Yes. Get wrecked. That eastern one is going to be the rough one. I think we've got the center just about handled. The central lasers, I mean. Getting to that eastern one might be a little trickier. Yeah, the bombers are so good against those. You guys get some repairs. Okay, okay. Dang, you're low on ammo. But go. Probably just gonna get wrecked. But go, go, go. We need to finish off these last lasers, and we need to do it quick. Good lord, look at what is coming at us. Not the matchup I want. Although that went okay, because we got first strike. It is a nice touch how the ground gets browned wherever the lasers fire, just like it did where the Pulsatrix bombs fell before. Just a nice little attention to detail. Oh boy, here comes Stolos himself in a mega tank. That's Armageddon down there. Can only get him one at a time, huh? Who does more damage? Will it tell me? I honestly don't know. Half-strength bomber or full-strength mega tank. I mean, obviously full-strength bomber is the best. Alright, how much was that? Pretty good, pretty good. I think that was better than a half-strength bomber would have done. Thanks, Track. Your contribution to the battle has been invaluable. Just out of range, huh? everything's just out of its range, because that's always the case with these flippin' missiles. There is such an unstoppable wall of death coming down here that, yeah, at this point we just gotta put all our marbles in this northern thrust. Because he doesn't have anything real fast coming toward the HQ. Maybe this motorbike is somewhat fast, but if we can destroy this before it gets here. 38? Yeah, dead. One hit point, huh? Let's get another bomber, maybe? Or will it just get destroyed by this? I suppose it would. But what else? What other alternative is there, really? Get an interceptor? Could get an attack chopper, which would, you know, be cheaper. Maybe I'm thinking about it for nothing. Well, his bomber is almost certainly going to do a pile of damage to this. And then the interceptor is probably going to hit this. But that presumably means that my full-strength bomber will be able to finish the job, I think. So I think it's looking promising up there. Alright, screw it. Let's just go with bomber. We're just going to YOLO it. And more anti-air. Oh, I forgot about the mortar. I forgot about the mortar. That messes up my plans. Oh boy. I forgot about that. Oh, we got it anyway. Do we win? Yes! Yes! Alright! Get screwed, Stolos. Good riddance. The world is much improved. Look at that. First try win. Not an S, but an A. I'll take it. Yes! Sweet victory. Get wrecked, you swine. Oh. Getting some farming going. Lily seems to have some bad memory issues, huh? Nice. That's true. I'm pretty sure there have been studies about identical twins who are separated at birth or very young, who grow up to be very different, which shows it really is not just all about DNA by any means. Individuality is a thing. Cyrus was awesome. It's a shame that we never got to use him as a CO, and that he didn't really appear on screen very much. He was cool. Very true. Very inspiring, Dr. Moritz. Oh, I was talking about that in an earlier episode, right? Because of the shortened telomeres, they have the same remaining lifespan as the original they were cloned from. So, like, if you clone a 30-year-old and create a newborn baby, the newborn baby is biologically like 30 years old, something like that. Again, I said this before, I'm not a biologist, so I'm probably getting some of this wrong, but I think that's the idea. Yeah, wasn't it Dolly the sheep? I remember that. Oh, hey, it's the telomeres! Yeah, okay, I was literally talking about all this. Okay, well, the game is explaining it for me, so I don't know why I bothered explaining it. Oh no. Wait, really? Is that true? Or are they just making this up? I have no idea. No clue. Do you just go with that gun slung over your shoulder everywhere track? Okay. Here's a tip, Track. You don't milk cows with guns. That's how you that's a good starting advice. Okay. Track, your seriousness, your credibility. The game is taking a giant dump on it. Oh, is there a ray of light shining through the sky? Oh, look at that. It's so cute. And yup, there is some sunlight shining through. The future's looking bright. For all people say it's a really dark game, and that's certainly true compared to, like, Reboot Camp. It sure ended on a hopeful note, didn't it? Well, credits are rolling, so I reckon it's review time. And there's going to be inevitable comparisons to Reboot Camp, of course, Advance Wars 1 and 2. A lot of them. So I guess the first question is, did I like it better or worse than Reboot Camp? And the answer is I'm not sure. I actually think it's about a tie for me. I'm sorry if anyone's disappointed by that answer, but I really like them both. I mean, since I gave Reboot Camp my 4-star highest rating, I guess that means this game gets a really high rating too. Gameplay-wise, they're very similar. It's still the same core gameplay. Obviously, Days of Ruin has refined the gameplay in a variety of ways. There's new units, there's changes to the balance of the units, and so on. I would say as far as the units are concerned, the gameplay in Days of Ruin is a bit better. Some of the balance feels a bit better. I like the new units, especially the carrier. So it does feel like a progression or refinement of the formula in that way. I think it might have actually been a little bit of a regression with how the COs work, though. I never really felt like the COs taking to the field themselves was a really compelling gameplay mechanic. It doesn't, in my opinion, work as well as it does in, say, the Langrisser series, which also uses that, but I feel like it works better in Langrisser. Here, I think that the way the COs are handled, where they're not actually units on the field, but they just have a passive ability and then a CO power in Reboot Camp, I think that worked better in Reboot Camp. So I did prefer how Advance Wars 1 and 2 handles the COs. I do miss the expressions. I understand why this game doesn't have them. It would probably feel out of place to have a lot of goofy expressions given the game's much more serious tone. But I did miss them, for sure. So CO-wise, Reboot Camp was better. Unit-wise, I think this was better. Map design-wise, it's pretty close. It's comparable. I can't for sure say which one overall has the better map designs. They're both quite good overall. So I'm not going to call a winner in that department. Story-wise, this game obviously is the winner. Reboot Camp is just, it's a Saturday morning cartoon level of story. And I don't mean that as a criticism. That's not a dig at Advance Wars 1 and 2. But Advance Wars 1 and 2 are good because they have fun, compelling gameplay, and because they have endearing characters. They're not good games because they have a deep and involved story or setting. That's not what they're about. This game actually has a real story. And it does it pretty well. It touches on some pretty serious themes in what I think is a pretty mature manner. It touches on things like the disaster scenario of having a settlement with a limited capacity to support people, and more refugees show up, and you get this intractable moral dilemma where no matter what you do, there's a probable bad outcome. You turn people away to probable death, or you let them in and maybe everybody will die because you exhaust your resources. It touched on how people act in sort of an apocalyptic scenario, and how you get warlord types who just try to take over everything, which is very true and very realistic. But it didn't fall into the trap of just being all bleakness, all nihilism, everybody's either a villain or one of their victims, which is the trap that a lot of really dark stories fall into, and I don't like that. I like dark stories, but I prefer when they have some actual heroic characters. I vastly prefer that. And so, as an example, I am much more a Lord of the Rings than Game of Thrones person. Game of Thrones is too nihilistic for me. I don't like it. I prefer Lord of the Rings because it has actual heroes. And so does this game. It has some really noble characters like O'Brien and Ed, and I like that. Another interesting thing is the game undergoes a bit of a tonal shift about 2/3 of the way through. And what I mean by that is, I touched on this a little earlier, but the first 2/3 of the game or so are almost sort of like cross-cultural. There's like not an obvious cultural influence in the writing. It's just a disaster war story. It just kind of works in a neutral way. The last third of the game, although it stays dark, it suddenly becomes super anime. Because Stolos and his evil little girl super commanders, complete with the light blue twin tails and the bratty evil little girl with the teddy bear, it is so anime it's out of control. Which isn't really true of the first 2/3 of the game. So it's a strange tonal shift a little bit. And by the way, I am not an anime hater at all, so I don't mean that as a criticism. I used to watch quite a bit of anime. I'm not as interested in it as I used to be, just because after you see a certain amount of it, to some degree you've kind of seen all of it, because it kind of reuses the same set of tropes over and over again. So in the past few years, I haven't watched any new anime, but I don't hate it. I still like the art style, or at least certain variations of it. Like, I liked the character art in this game, for example. So none of that is meant as a dig. It's just kind of an observation, how it's interesting, how it goes from a more neutral disaster war story to all of a sudden blue-haired twin tails and evil little girls with teddy bears and just animeing all over the place. And then I guess the last thing I'll mention, although overall I thought the story was very strong and well told, it wasn't quite perfect. There are some oddities. It never really gives an adequate explanation as to how we continue to field these large, modern, mechanized armies in a post-apocalyptic scenario where the surface of the planet has been obliterated by meteors. You need a very intricate, high-tech supply chain to keep that kind of thing going, which would absolutely be shattered by a massive meteor strike. It should have been days before all of the military equipment started breaking down, and not that long before people were basically reduced to fighting with sticks and rocks, essentially. They never really explained that. But that's okay. I don't really deduct too many points for that. It was also odd how they actually tried to address and explain why you can't carry over units you build in factories from one mission to the next. And I think there was a mistake to address that at all. It's a video game mechanic. You don't need to explain it. We can just hand wave it. We'll accept that as players. Instead of giving a contrived explanation that makes no sense. Like, the explanation was they're designed so that the units the factories build don't work a certain distance from the factories. Why would you do that? Like, no military would do that. If you have automated factories that can crank out tanks and planes and ships and stuff, you're not going to design them so they don't work a certain distance from the factory. You want them to be able to go anywhere. So that was a silly explanation. They shouldn't have even bothered addressing it. I mean, you could say, oh, well, they just want it to be for defensive purposes, and that's why they don't want them to be able to go too far away. But look at how evil the armies in this game are. That explanation doesn't make sense. There's no way that any of these arms manufacturers would care about only allowing them to be built for defensive purposes. An explanation that would have made more sense would be if all the units manufactured at those factories didn't have like normal engines, but maybe the factories themselves had generators or reactors that sent out power through like microwaves or whatever, and the vehicles had receivers that got the power, and that's how they were mobile, was through the power that was transmitted from the factories. And obviously that would attenuate with distance and wouldn't work a certain distance from the factories. That's an explanation that would make some level of sense. But that can't be the explanation because your units use up fuel and stuff. So they obviously aren't getting their power remotely from the factories. But anyway, that is actually a very minor nitpicky point, and I just spent way more time explaining it than is warranted, because I actually hardly even care. I just thought that I would mention it, though. So yeah, a couple little nitpicky things like that, but overall the story was great. Much, much stronger story than Reboot Camp. But again, that doesn't mean that I'm meaning that as a dig at Reboot Camp. It's just that this game wanted to have a good story, and in Advance Wars 1 and 2, that wasn't their goal. So that's fine. So that was Day of Ruin, or more specifically, the European version Dark Conflict, which there's not much difference between them. It's the same game. It's just a different translation, but there's not any major differences in the story or anything. It's just little wording differences here and there. But honestly, I could have chosen either version to play, and it would have been basically the same experience from what I can see. Okay, so final logistical points. Is this the end of the playthrough, or am I going to check out all of the... Or am I going to check out all these trial missions and stuff? And the answer is basically the same as it was for Reboot Camp, which is to say, I might go through the trial missions. That's not off the table at all. But that's going to be in a much more discretionary manner. The playthrough of the main story was on a very regular schedule. I've already pre-scheduled those uploads, and I'm not going to miss a single day. It's going to be Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, as you already know if you've watched this far. But For the trial missions, I'm just going to do them at whatever pace I feel like. And that pace could end up being very, very slow, potentially. So, yeah, high chance I do some of these, or maybe even all of them, but no commitment to any kind of schedule at all. It'll just be whenever I feel like doing it. And then I guess the final piece of logistics is, what about Dual Strike? I am absolutely intending to do a Dual Strike playthrough, for sure. Unless I just stop doing LPs entirely for some reason, that is definitely something I'm planning to do. When is a question that's more up in the air. This is going to get posted in November, and I'm recording this in early August. It is August 6th when I'm recording this. So I'm recording this months before it's getting posted. I cannot predict months in advance exactly what all the games I'm going to want to LP are. So it's possible the Dual Strike playthrough may be coming right away. It's also possible I might want to take a little bit of a break from Advance Wars first and do another game or two in this time slot before I move on to Dual Strike. By the time this posts, I'll probably have a better idea, and I'll probably leave a comment on this video confirming what's coming up next and when I'm planning to do Dual Strike. So just check the comments for more information about that. I think that pretty much wraps it up for now. Again, probably not the end of the playthrough. We'll probably do trial missions as I feel like it, but that's basically the end of the core of the playthrough. So thank you for joining me for this journey. I have really enjoyed it. This has been a fantastic game. I liked it a lot. So this is Dr. J signing off, and I hope to see you in the next playthrough. Goodbye for now.